thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name's Olivia and I'm a gender affirming voice teacher. And in this video, I'm going to talk about vocal feminization and using your new voice on the phone. Making phone calls can be a really intimidating, challenging thing as you go through this process. So in this video, I want to kind of talk about some ways that you can prepare for a phone call that's going to kind of set you up for success. And I'm also going to talk about a few exercises that you can do and some elements that you can focus on to make sure that you are perceived correctly on the phone. So let's get started. So you've decided to make this phone call, you have to make this phone call, whatever it is. And so there are some things that you can do to kind of set yourself up for success. So the first thing is to make sure that you are as relaxed as possible. Now, it's not easy to relax if you say to yourself, just relax, okay? That doesn't really work out. But if you're patient with yourself and you kind of start to figure out what things really work for you to relax, that can be really helpful. So one thing you can try is stretching. So I like to do just like a full body stretch where I just bend over at the waist, touch the toes. That really helps me to kind of regulate my breath and helps me to relax. So you can do any kind of full body stretching, some breathing, anything to kind of come into your body in that moment. So you can just try a few shoulder rolls, a few neck stretches over to one side and the other, and then try taking some deep breaths. And make sure here too that your posture is nice and tall, you're nice and open here, allowing your lungs to fill up with air and keeping your head kind of pulled up toward the ceiling. Next, it's important to warm up your voice. So if this is a call that you're making at the beginning of the day, you're going to want to wake up a little bit earlier to give your voice a little bit of an extra chance to wake up. And then these vocal warm-ups will help to make sure that your vocal cords are working the way you want them to. So you can use SOVT exercises. I've got other videos on those kinds of exercises, basically lip trills or blowing bubbles into a glass of water while you're humming, or even just regular hums. Those are really helpful warm-up exercises as well. So these are beneficial not only because they kind of put your vocal cords in the position they want to be in and vibrating more efficiently, but they also help to kind of relax, which we know is another important thing. So these kinds of calls can make you anxious, right? You're trying to mitigate the effect that anxiety has on your body, because that anxiety doesn't always show up in a helpful way for your voice in your body. So just try doing any SOVT exercise for like a minute before you make your call. And I also want you to try to visualize yourself on the call. So this is something like I've read about Olympic athletes doing, like how they're like, they think about the race or they think about the game and visualize how it's going to go. So that they already have kind of like a positive association with what's about to happen. They already know how it's going to play out. You can imagine your voice feeling light and easy and feminine. You can imagine, being perceived as you are. Imagine, being gendered correctly and feeling confident and comfortable in your voice during that call. So this does a couple things, it's almost like you've already done it once you've visualized it. So it's almost like, okay, well, I'll just do it again. And on the other hand, you're also kind of tricking your mind into thinking positively about it. So those kind of affirmations of, I can do this. Oh, I just did it in my mind, so why don't I just do it again? Rather than telling yourself the sort of negative story, saying it's not going to go well, I'm so nervous that it won't go well. The more you can say, you know what, I think it will go well. My voice is going to feel exactly how I want it to feel. the more that's going to help you kind of calm down, come into your body, and it's going to give you a better chance of actually having that come true. So now I'm going to kind of share with you a few exercises that you can do that I think will be beneficial before you make this kind of call. So the first thing, I know we already took a couple relaxing breaths, but breathing without holding your breath is something that I think is really important for kind of calming down your whole body before you do this. So the first thing you can do is just breathe in and out, almost like it's a circle of air. There's no stopping of the air. So you're not breathing in, holding the air, and then letting it out. We're gonna breathe in and right out. So let's do that 3 times. Just in. Great, so that's gonna help eliminate some of that tension, get the breath moving. Next, we're gonna say, with that same kind of light air, we're gonna say, ah, like you're looking at a cute kitten. And this is gonna help kind of lighten our vocal weight. So that lightness in vocal weight can help when you are on the phone. So if you breathe in, ah, and again, kind of keeping that cycle of air that never stops. Ah, that'll help kind of lighten up your sound. The next exercise we can do is working a little bit on resonance. So what we're going to do is just use the sound me to not only bring the sound forward, but bring the vowels forward as well. You can just practice saying me, 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 and kind of feel how that feels in your body. Me, me, me. Just nice and easy. And then you can combine those things. You can do either order. You can go, ah, me, 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 or me, 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 ah. Kind of combining them however you want to, so that you can make sure you're both kind of forward and bright in your resonance as well as light in your vocal weight. So then I want you to take those things, so that forward resonance, that light vocal weight, and I want you to say the first thing that you're anticipating saying on the call. So let's just say, you know, hi, I'm Olivia and I want to make an appointment. So I would say, ah, me, me, me. Hi, I'm Olivia and I want to make an appointment. So I can just practice that. You can just practice that as many times as you want to kind of feel comfortable in that nice, light, bright sound. And finally, you can kind of work on this with intonation, if that's something that you work on. So if you are typically a little bit more monotone in the way that you speak, intonation can be a great kind of indicator on the phone of, you know, gender in the voice. So if I'm, you know, hi, I'm Olivia, I want to make an appointment. So I can try me, ah, me, 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 ah. Hi, I'm Olivia and I want to make an appointment. So that's light. That's going to be probably bright, right, and forward, but it's flat. So if we want to add in a little bit more movement, ah, me, me, me. Hi, I'm Olivia and I want to make an appointment. So a little bit more of that movement in there. So you can play around with that and just see what feels comfortable for you. So finally, when you're on the call, you can grab anything that you have handy, a pen, a quarter, a guitar pick, anything small you can kind of have in your hands. And I want you to pick one of these elements that I've talked about in this video here. So whether it's kind of focusing on keeping that breath moving, whether it is on your forward resonance or your vocal weight, any of the things that we talked about here, or if there's other things that are helpful for you to remember, and just focus on that one thing. And every time you notice, every time you remember that you're holding that guitar pick or whatever you're holding, you can kind of reset and think, okay, I got to think about not holding my breath, or really think about feeling that forward feeling in my face, whatever it is that you are focused on. So you can't expect your mind to be like, okay, let me think about these 19 things and I'm gonna nail it. It takes time to get comfortable with all those things and have all those things be a habit. So this sort of exercise will look different for people depending on where you are in the process. But it's great to have this sort of like touchstone to come back to. Okay, I'm remembering what I'm doing, because it's easy to get kind of anxious and flustered in the moment, lost in what you're saying. And so you can always come back to, what am I doing here? And how can I get back to where I want to be? So confidence when it comes to these things is not going to come overnight, of course. You need to put yourself out of your comfort zone and in these situations so that you can prove to yourself that you can do them. You might not always have the best experience when you're making a phone call, but you're putting yourself in a situation where at some point you will start to have positive interactions and gender affirming experiences on the phone. Because each time you do it is a learning experience. Okay, that time, whew, I was nervous, but I know next time, I know next time is going to be easier because I've already done it once. So you can just kind of keep building on that. So don't try to be perfect in these types of situations. Do your best, but I think it can be really helpful to take a little time to prepare. You can't expect yourself to just like jump into new situations, doing everything absolutely perfectly all the time. But I'm really excited for you to get out and start using your voice on the phone. I'd love to hear from you if you have some other tips that you can share about, using your voice on the phone, what has been helpful for you, or things that you struggle with. So thank you so much for watching, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next video.